the paper today. Oh, they're trying to fool the policemen and the sheriffs think they're getting away, 'cause they make the rules. You're not gonna pull over my eyes. You're not gonna pull over my eyes. Lifting the veil.
Peter.
So you're a physics researcher?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. Academic education or common sense?
Academic education.
Government-led or anarchy?
Government-led.
Being or becoming?
Being, I think.
Imagination or reality?
Reality.
And freedom of speech or censorship?
Freedom of speech.
A comfortable answer or the truth?
The truth.
Evolution or creation?
Evolution, yeah.
Things drop due to gravity or density?
Gravity.
The moon landings, were they real or were they fake?
They're real, of course.
And a big crazy question, is the Earth a globe or is it flat?
Globe.
Globe. Okay, now could I ask you why you think it's a globe?
It's a good question.
Now, I'm not coming from a religious background.
Yeah.
I'm more into natural science than anything else.
So it's a globe for one reason is it's a planet. It goes around the sun. There's a build up. I mean, I have friends who've flown from A to B to C, all in the same direction, all and ended up back at A again. So I mean, that's evidence enough for me.
Okay,
for the time being.
Okay,
and just belief of general scientific build-up of knowledge.
I mean, I believe exactly as you did for most of my life until 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Because somebody suggested to me it wasn't a globe.
Yeah.
Which I thought was absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
So I was in that time I was right into researching other issues like health and politics. So I started researching it, and the more I read, the more I looked into it, I went, and I found a lot of information that was kept from me, and a lot of scientific natural observations which didn't add up.
Yeah.
And the main one being bendy water.
Well, what's that?
Well, water that conforms to the exterior of a shape.
Right.
Which never occurs in nature. Yet we'll have to take a huge leap of faith to say that water curves to the exterior of the Earth.
Yeah.
And yes, and gravity, I believed in gravity as well, but that is a theory of gravity, and it's never actually been proven that gravity can hold water to a ball, can it? Or do you know of any proof exercises?
Well, it's not. God. One thing. Can we go back to the another reason why I believe it's so I do a lot of walking. I do a lot of walking.
Yeah, me too.
From the horizon, if I'm down at sea level,
yes,
you can see not very far. If you can see about 10 miles or so. If you go up,
I'd agree. Yeah.
If you go up,
yes,
you can see more. You can see that.
Yeah.
So what if there wasn't the curvature? How do you explain that? How do you explain that you can only see the kind of top of the mountains when you're, even if you're up a high mountain, you won't see, and you're looking say across the sea to other distant mountains, you won't see the full mountain. You'll see the kind of peak, the top half or so, because the horizon is, the sea is cutting off.
But see if you look at this bridge here, and it went about 10 times the length.
Yeah.
I mean, all these parallel lines would come to a point
Yeah.
because you can't see forever, and you wouldn't see the whole of the bridge, but it's there. It's just a matter of perspective rather than any curvature of the Earth. But I would say that now I'm only asking questions because I'm expected to believe that I'm on a globe. So
Yeah. I mean, from a philosophical point of view, I take your point that a lot of what. I mean, I haven't taken from first principles a lot of what I believe, and it is. I guess it is. There's a lot of, and I do. Yeah.
It's a lot of amount of faith, though, isn't it?
No, I agree. I think to be a hardline atheist, you need as much faith as a hardline religious person.
Absolutely. Now, have you ever seen curvature?
Well, other than what I've just said just now about, I've not been higher up. I mean, you'd have to get high. So I've been up 25,000 feet.
Have you been up that high then?
25,000 feet. I've been up high, but I mean, from that, you're not high enough. You're at
you don't think so? But do people not say they can see ships going over the horizon, over the curvature?
So yeah. Okay, so that is something I have seen. Is because I've often sailed, and I do see. You see the top of the ship. You don't see the full ship.
But then is that not a contradiction, saying that we've got to be high to see that? And then you say you can see a ship going over it.
Well, you could Well, it depends on distance. So before when I said high, you're talking about mountains, which are very big. But for ships, they're quite close by. They're 10 miles away or so.
I think I've got the sun in your face.
All right.
Or on the camera, should I say? Yes. Sorry, what were you saying about 10 miles away?
So when you're low down.
Yeah.
The distance you can see is and when you're approaching land as well. I mean, that's the land starts from a. Yeah. Wow. I mean, this is not something I've really. It's not. I haven't done a foolproof scientific study, but
I appreciate that, and I'm ambushing you here on the street, but but it is just to test people's awareness of what they think and why they think it's a globe.
But, I mean, that'd be two good points that why I think.
Okay, when you see the ship go over the horizon, you're out at sea. Were you out in the middle of the ocean, or were you on the land when you see?
Well, mainly on the ocean. I've sailed in the past.
Okay,
so recently as well.
So, is it straight out ahead of you? You're saying you can see the ship going over the curvature?
Well, it's you need. So it's a bit. So it won't happen. Sometimes at sea, there's lots of factors. You got the sea going up and down. Yeah. You got
atmosphere,
poor visibility often. But if it's calm and if there's good visibility, then you can see that. Okay,
if I could put it to you that we'll admit this ship going over the curve there. Now, the physics of a ball determine that all sides slope.
Yeah.
In the same direction.
Yeah.
To the left and to your right and behind you should be seeing that curvature as well, should you not? If you're on a ball.
Yes.
Yes. Now that's never been evident or proven or photographed or videoed.
What from sea level we're talking about here?
Yeah. To say even hover up in a helicopter while you're filming the ship going over the horizon and then doing a 360. So we've never had any evidence of a curvature.
Well, I think
in any direction, never mind 4 directions. But it should be, shouldn't it, on a ball? We should see it in 4 directions. Well,
this ball is huge and we're tiny. I mean,
but you're admitting you can see it in one direction, so therefore you should see it in every direction if you're on a ball. Because it all slopes equally in all directions, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, if you got the sea in every direction, I mean.
Well, you said you're out in the middle of the sea.
Well, yeah. So the seas, it might not necessarily be the sea in every direction, but yeah.
Oh, right.
But yeah, I mean, or it could be. I mean, you're not having ships in every direction either.
True, but you can see my point though. That's never been evident that it curves in all directions. But it should do.
I don't know. I haven't researched. Yeah, it does. I believe it does.
But there's no evidence of that ever.
Well, I don't know about that.
And I've been researching this for 3 years.
Well, that doesn't mean there's no evidence.
No, it does not. It certainly does not. But I've been asking people for that evidence, and
have you one thing? Have you again? I mean, you can come up with. But I remembered just now. You can get lightweight camera systems now, and balloons.
Yeah.
And there are videos on YouTube which you know this is easily open to being rigged, I suppose. But they do go up a long way. They go up to the upper atmosphere, I believe, and then you can start to see the curvature.
Yeah, I agree with you. I've seen those videos. Yes, yeah, absolutely. Have you also seen the amateur balloons sent up with their footage?
No,
showing a complete flat horizon.
What balloon's that? The Amersham?
No, sorry, amateurs.
Amateurs, okay.
Not NASA or not the government.
Yeah. No, I'm talking about amateur. This is amateur. One of the ones I've seen is amateur.
Yeah. I'd have to verify that there were amateurs and they weren't being paid, as you say, to spike it.
Yeah.
But you know what a GoPro camera is with a fisheye lens? Now, you can bend a horizon with a fisheye lens, but you can't unbend a curved horizon. So you have all this amateur footage showing completely flat horizons. And do you remember that guy who did a space jump? Felix somebody?
I don't know.
When a capsule, he went up to the edge of space in a spacesuit. Parachute.
The highest jump.
And he had a camera on his camera, camera on his helmet, and an extended camera from the capsule. Now, as you say, big, huge curvature in the background. But then they showed you a wee clip of a camera from inside the capsule looking out.
And it was also curved.
Completely straight horizon. Now, NASA always use fisheye lenses to convince us that the Earth is a ball. Did you know that all images of Earth, there is no photographs?
Well, what do you mean by that? Sorry.
They're composites or CGI Photoshop, but they're not photographs.
Well, I'm not. Well, I'd have to.
I know. It's a bit shocking, but if you, after you speak to me, if you research it, if you go on and search for Robert Simmons, who works for NASA, he's on a radio show saying that the blue marble shots are Photoshop because they have to be.
Right. Okay.
And I'd like to show you a photograph actually of one of those blue marble shots. Let's see. I know this sounds mad to you. Honestly, it sounded mad to everybody else who knows it's not a globe, because they all were globe believers until they started researching it themselves. Now, do you think there's something odd about the size of America on that left one? The right one, sorry.
It looks, I mean, it looks all a bit wrong.
Okay. So my brother.
So this is official NASA. This is official NASA website of the blue marble shots. Now, I would state that at least one of those are not real.
I mean, just because it looks wrong doesn't mean it is for sure. I mean, you can't just look at two things and decide that it's definitely. You'd have to.
No, you can look at one of them and say, well.
I don't want to say that they're not the same, because they can be taken from different points.
Yes, but the ball is exactly the same size.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that that can't look differently if you take it from
different size though.
Different points. But different. Well, I don't. Different size again depends on which part of the ball. If you got the ball, like if you're taking a photo of the ball from here, and from here, then it will look different.
Okay, right.
The bits on the ball will look different.
Okay.
And I'm not saying that's the answer there, but
okay. That's a bit of an exaggeration, but you know Neil deGrasse Tyson.
No,
he's the expert in NASA and science in America, but he's now saying it's that shape. He's saying it's a pear shape.
Right.
That's an exaggeration of the shape, but he's saying it's wider on the bottom and thinner at the top.
Right.
It's more pear shaped.
Right. Okay.
So that means. That means that all these photographs can't be real if he's saying they're pear-shaped. Either he's lying or these are wrong. I think there's something. I mean, I don't think it's something not right.
The pear shape. I don't believe it's pear shaped.
No.
That's exaggerated. I'm sure. But,
yeah, it is exaggerated.
I mean, the thing is, the Earth isn't a perfect sphere anyway. I mean, well, okay.
Would you say they're a perfect circle?
No, I wouldn't.
You wouldn't?
Well, when without actually measuring them, I wouldn't like to say. I wouldn't trust my eyes to.
Oh well, I mean, I think they're presented as spears, shaped.
They're pretty close.
Yes,
but then the Earth is.
And this is not a large photo; it's only a small one. But the top left-hand corner is the camera from inside, showing you a complete flat horizon of that jump I told you about.
Yeah, okay, but
you need to see it bigger than that, because it's.
I mean, so you have no idea what, the percentage of, how big a slice is that goes through the window.
But if you just take the same slice onto there, you'd see a wee curvature.
But if you zoom, so my point is, if you zoom into that one enough, it will also look flat.
Yeah, but it's from the same distance, and if you took that measurement onto there, you'd still see a wee bit of curvature on there.
But well, okay. So if we look at, you can see the atmosphere. So we get an idea of the zoom here. If you look at the atmosphere here, and the atmosphere in this one, you can see it's massive. You have got a massive blue bit here. It's, you can hardly see anything. So that must be much more zoomed in. Because it's not just the flatness you're looking at; it's lots of things. It's a.
Oh, that's an interesting point. Right? Okay.
Yeah.
I never thought of that. That could be it. Yeah. And I'm not accepting any evidence just on face value.
No. I mean,
so what you're saying, I'll take that on board. And
have a look. I mean, I'm not. That was just something that I came off the top. What you can.
Yeah. And that's Robert Simmons there, who admits that they're all Photoshop. They're not real photographs.
Right. Okay.
Now that alone, coming from someone from NASA, makes me very suspect, because I'm old enough to know that they presented these years ago as real photographs.
Yeah.
Which are a bit disingenuous, because now they're admitting they're not photographs.
Well, yeah, but I'm not going to get into that. Tim Peake, is it Tim Peake, the guy that went up recently?
Yeah.
Took a load of.
Still in it.
What is it?
Don't you think it's interesting with Tim Peake? He's sitting in the cockpit of the rocket, apparently.
Well, space station.
Before he takes off in the rocket.
Oh, right, okay.
And you've got a picture of the window behind him. Now that's all you see. Nothing more.
Okay.
Then next time you see him, ta-da! He's in the International Space Station. Why is there not a camera on that rocket showing us the complete journey?
I don't know.
Well, I think it's an interesting question to ask.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. But I don't know the answer to that. I don't know whether there isn't one for sure.
And I've got pictures there on my phone as well, showing you the rocket's taken off, but they actually curve.
Yeah.
There's arguments about the trajectory, that it needs to curve and all. Well, even if it does or doesn't.
I've seen a space shuttle take off a long time ago. 7 years ago, one of the last ones.
As soon as we get to space, they change it for a cartoon or a CGI image. Now, why do we not see real rockets in space?
Because why do we not see footage of real rockets in space? Well, you can either have footage from the inside of the rocket or from moving with an
extended arm with a camera on it.
Yeah, but even then, you can't have a footage independently of the rocket from space, because space is too. The practicalities of that would be very.
But do we not see that of the International Space Station?
We see images of the space station
from outside.
Yeah, but again, they're either taken from the rockets. So near to docking or undocking.
Yeah, but even when you see them on the spacewalk, you can see from a distance away. You can see them on the International Space Station. So how are they doing that?
Sorry, what do you mean?
I don't understand how they can present us with external shots of the International Space Station when there's no rocket going up at that time. But yet on a rocket we can't see any footage of this rocket going from A to B. Don't you think that's a bit suspect? At the very least, it's a bit suspect.
Well, I see what you mean, but I'd assume that there should be footage available. I've never looked for it from the space station of the rocket approaching.
Yes. But it's all CGI, and it's not something you could disagree on, because it's obvious CGI. It's as if they don't even hide it, So why do they have to go to CGI and cartoons? Why can we not see?
Well, I'd have thought there should be footage available. I'll have to check. Yeah. I'll look at it, and if I can't find anything, then
I know of virtually hundreds of other channels who research this subject.
I mean, are you saying that these rockets don't actually go up there? So that means there's no satellites. But if there's no satellites, there's no GPS.
Land-based
GPS.
Yeah.
But it works everywhere.
Well, I fly drones. Now, when I bought my first drone, it said it's linked up to satellites. It's okay, right? So I have to wait till 4 lights warm up, come on. When 4 green lights come on, that means I've linked up to the satellites. It's all good to go. So I was doing that regularly. Then I went way into the middle of nowhere up in Scotland, and I set up my drone, and I couldn't get it to connect the 4 lights. Beautiful clear day like today. So I thought I'll phone up the shop and they'll say, what's going on? It's not linking up to satellites. Then I couldn't get a signal on my mobile phone either.
Yeah.
So I thought nothing more of it. I came back to Edinburgh and I went up the Pentlands and I was in a valley.
Yeah.
And I was sent up again and I couldn't power it up. So I went to phone the shop.
Yeah.
No signal on my mobile. Oh, wait a minute. So the same thing's happening with my satellite connection as my mobile phone, but they're supposed to come from two different places.
I personally, I mean, I can't argue with what you've just said, but personally, I've never had that. My mobile phone signal is separate from my GPS signal, and I can almost always get GPS signal, but often won't get.
I've given you 2 instances there where I haven't got it.
Yeah, but there might be other reasons for that.
In a city in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah. I see, but I mean, okay, so you've got one evidence on one hand, but there's evidence on the other hand. So, I mean, you can't say that your evidence is irrefutable. You can't say that's definitely because there's land-based.
No, but then again, that got. I was already researching moon landings quite intensely over a couple of years. So then I started researching satellites, the existence of satellites in space.
Yeah.
Now. I could leave you my number and I'll give you £500 if you can find any footage of any satellite in space, or any rocket for that matter.
Yeah.
Because they're all CGI or cartoon images.
Yeah.
So I don't believe satellites are up there.
Right.
I'm not saying we don't get a signal from up there somewhere, like high altitude balloons, drones, aeroplanes.
Okay. Right.
I could quite imagine they do have drones which can power for months with solar powered.
Yeah.
So I can quite imagine, we could get GPS from up there, but there's no evidence that satellites are up there.
How about when you at night and you see satellites? What are they? They're just high in the atmosphere, like you say, are they?
Well, I don't know what they are. I mean, people claim to see the International Space Station.
Yeah, I have. Well, I've seen something that is claimed to be the International Space Station.
You're the first person who's actually admitted that I've seen something, but you couldn't prove that was a station with 3 astronauts on board, could you?
No, I couldn't. I could say that it's definitely not a planet or a star or a plane, but it's reflecting the light of the sun. I can say that, but I can't say much more than that off the top of my head. Because
the government has so much advanced aircraft and so forth, you don't know that they've not built something which is very similar to the International Space Station. And when I did look at it on video, when there was evidence of it, to me it looked like it was in daylight. It wasn't even in space. And I thought, it's all blue sky around it.
Well, it is in a fairly low atmosphere. Well, as an orbit goes, it's quite a low orbit, I believe.
But it should be black in the background, surely.
I can't for sure remember whether, because the black in the background. So the reason you get blue in the background is because you're getting the blue light is you're needing atmosphere there for the blue to get refracted and so that would be. I mean, I haven't seen the footage you're referring to. So
do you think I'm crazy for questioning the validity of us living on a globe?
No, I don't think. I think it's worthwhile questioning everything. I mean, to be a what's the word? To have a critical,
independent thoughts.
I agree with you there.
Now, when you and I were 5 years old, we didn't have independent critical thinking, really, did we?
Yeah. So how do you?
It wasn't advanced, and we believed that at the same time we were believing in Santa Claus. Now, since then, when you were told that, have you honestly gone off to research it and to check out the validity of us living on a globe?
There's enough I've seen, and the alternatives are, the alternatives. I mean, I certainly don't believe the Earth is flat.
I don't know what the alternatives are, but I know it's not a magical spinning ball spinning 1,000 miles an hour, 67,000 miles around the sun.
Right.
I certainly don't believe that. We do. Most of the Earth's surface, 73% is made up of water, flat water.
Yeah.
So how could that exist? How could that exist on the ball if 73% of the surface was flat, level?
Oh, it's not. But it's not level. It's very slightly. Yeah. Okay. So
is that water not level?
We're talking about We're talking about, this is 100 metres in a globe that has a circumference of what? Tens of thousands of miles.
So does distance equate with unequal levelness? So
if you took the proportion of the slope, this is effectively flat. But
sorry, what do you mean effectively? Is it flat or is it not flat?
Well, to the human eye and to any sort of instruments that you can measure it, it will be flat.
But
I mean, I don't know how you'd go about measuring it also, because
could I hold you to that question?
Yeah, okay. So
I mean, using your natural observations, your instincts, and all your all your independent thinking is telling you that water's flat, isn't it? Your observation is telling you that's flat. But you're believing some sort of theory?
That's so. My observation, the instruments I use, my eyes, only the sensitivity of my eyes. I can't pick everything up using my eyes.
But your common sense and your intelligence and your natural observation tells you that water's flat, though, surely.
And it effectively is flat.
Yeah, it would be flowing if it wasn't flat, wouldn't it?
That would depend on. That would depend on gravity and whether it's.
Can you prove gravity exists, though? Or is it a theory?
I honestly don't know whether it's a theory or not. I mean, I don't know. I don't even know the definition of a theory. I mean, it's certainly a lot more proven than the theory of evolution.
Yeah, we can get a bit lost in
I don't want to get lost.
Yeah, but it's called the theory of gravity because it's never been proven. Now, I'm supposed to have a huge leap in faith and believe that this invisible force that nobody's ever seen or experienced can hold that substance there to a ball, to the exterior surface of a ball. Now, there's no evidence for that, and so therefore it becomes a belief, does it not? That we've adopted a belief that.
I'm not sure I'd agree that there's no evidence.
Well, could you give me some then? Because I want to believe it. Don't get me wrong. I want to believe that I'm wrong and I'm living on a ball.
Yeah.
So could you give me evidence that gravity holds water to a ball?
So gravity is a force of attraction between two objects which possess mass.
But how do we know that?
Through several hundred years of research.
Well, Henry Cavendish in the 17th century went into his barn and he hung two lead balls from two wires, and he claimed that one of them moved slightly due to the constant gravitational pull. Now, that wasn't witnessed or evident by anybody else.
No, yeah.
So what? Would you agree with me that science has to be demonstrable, measurable,
definitely.
and repeatable?
Yeah.
So why is that exercise not being repeated in front of a live TV audience that we can all verify for ourselves?
Well, I don't know. Well, I mean, it may not have been. It might not make very good TV. Is what I want to say.
All these science buffs, I think, or university. Why don't they go around universities and show a demonstration of the gravitational constant?
I'll look into this.
You're a researcher after all, yes.
Find a nice, quick, cheap way of demonstrating gravity other than dropping something.
Like this camera here, the molecules of that camera is heavier than the molecules of the air, isn't it? So that would drop.
But there's many other forces as well. It's not just gravity. I'm
saying it's density rather than gravity. The camera drops.
Right.
And can you prove that the camera's being pulled by a force, or is it just its weight heavier than atmosphere it's dropping?
I said density. I'm not going to go. 10 minutes is up really. I've got to get going really. But it's an interesting discussion.
Well, thanks very much for being open and to listen to something which probably goes completely against your outlook on the subject.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I mean, I think it's important to. I think without. I'm not saying you're right. I don't think you're right.
No, I don't think you should say I'm right until you go off and research.
I don't blame. I think doing what you're doing. It's important to question everything. I think, and there has been times where you'll find that people turn out. The person on the outside is actually right, and there's countless. I don't think this is one of those times, but I'm not going to.
No, but I think that's the beauty of speaking to people of different opinions and different ideas, because it challenges your own preconceived ideas. Now, there's plenty of other people, academics, who are coming out also, who are claiming that we've been lied to, and we did too. We were lied to when we were impressionable, when we were young, and we just accept it. We blindly accepted it.
Yeah. That's it.
And we never really questioned it. Like you admitted yourself that you've never really questioned it, and I never questioned it for the whole of my life until 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Because I started having been honest with myself and saying, what evidence do I have that I have this belief? And is it a belief or is it a scientific reasoning?
Yeah.
And that's why I said, like, into natural science about common sense and natural observations. There's no bendy water anywhere.
Yeah. Well, that's what you. But I mean, the whole. You can make it a lot bigger than that. I think you can say that the whole, everything we see, everything that is all through a filter of our eyes, our ears, number of forces. There might be a huge amount that we don't see.
Yes, I quite agree. Like electricity.
So, well, more than that. Just. I mean, the whole. You know, there's a lot we don't know. I mean, what's going on? This whole.
Good question. What is going on? Yes, that's an excellent question.
I mean,
what is going on?
You can go back to. There's massive, big unanswered questions that no one's got any idea about. Like, you know, why are we conscious? Where does that come from? What happens when we're not conscious anymore? What happens when we die?
You're not conscious.
Yeah. So what? And where do you go? And what? I mean. Without this, what is there? What is there? They kind of blow my mind.
I think you can verify certain things, like the conscious thing and the subconscious and consciousness. Yeah, you could go around in circles all day with that. But this is the things you can verify. You can test yourself. I just said about a ship not going over the horizon. You can see the bottom of the boat. Some people claim it's going over. Aeroplanes travelling west at 500 miles an hour while the Earth spins at 1,000 miles the opposite direction.
Yeah.
Planes that go down to Australia from Norway, diving down a ball. I mean, it's madness to think that could actually happen.
My time's up.
Okay. Thanks, man.